decide to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go.
Introduce yourself.
My name's Kerrie, Kerrie.
Nice to meet you, Kerrie. How old are you?
53. A couple weeks I'll be 54.
Where are you from?
Northeast Philadelphia, like Burham, Fox Chase.
And
I lived all around like Northeast Philadelphia, like Mayfair, just recently, all around Cottman Avenue.
got you. So is that where you grew up?
Yes. Yeah, like Kensington wasn't like part of my story of like running down and copping and, you know, running back. We had delivery. Some people act like oh, aren't you special? But like, it's a lot easier that way, you know, and people don't have to, it's all part of the challenge, part of their high is the whole thing of the train ride and getting high, you know.
Right.
I just like the privacy of my home, wherever I was living.
How was your childhood like growing up? Did you grow up
Like,
with
it was
both
good
of
on the outside, right?
You grew up
like,
with both of your parents?
Yes.
Explain a little bit about how was it like, you know?
Like, I had a normal home life, except for, like, my father was molesting me, and me and my mother didn't have it. There was physical abuse from her.
Your father was molesting you?
Yes.
How long did it continue?
Well, from the time I was like 6, and then it stopped for a few years, and then it started again, I guess when I was like 12. 12 to like 15, and then I left home when I was 16.
Do you tell anybody about the
Yeah, when I told my mom, it was like they forgot about me and they were focused on the family. My mom and dad got into therapy, and they sent me. I had to go to like another therapist in another building, another place, and I don't know. It was just weird how my family, like, they're more focused on repairing. Parents are focused on repairing their marriage. I guess they feared that it, you know, was going to break up because of me telling my mom about it, you know.
Tell me a little bit about your current situation, how you ended up in Kensington.
Well, I was living with a friend, and something, like, it was just time for me to move. And I was going to move, and I was going to rent a room off of a man, and here he had rented it out to somebody else right about the time I was supposed to move in. So it left me kind of, you know, stranded, and there's not too many people that'll take you in because they got their own situations, you know. And I don't know, I just thought it would be over in a little bit, or if it got bad enough, I needed rehab. So that's that story of.
So tell me, what is your drug of choice?
Well, currently it's the fentanyl and crack, but I'm kind of like, it's like picture poison. You know, if I get money, I need to like worry about being, you know, not ill.
How much do you spend on your drug use daily?
Well, I don't really have the money. But like, I got $30 yesterday morning, and that's gone in like 10 minutes.
So average, how much do you spend average a day on buying drugs?
Probably $50.
What's a day out here look like for you?
Well, oh my God, wait, I gotta figure out that. Well, it's always focused on getting the next one, I guess. And I don't use that much. I just need enough to like take the edge off, or like I have arthritis pain, so that's how like from the Percocets to heroin started. I'm already nervous, man.
You doing good. Just relax,
No,
take your
he's
time.
watching. Yeah, like focus on, even if I have enough, if I have money or not to even get one, you know, do that and then just do whatever. I had a couple girlfriends we were just hanging out with, walking around. Or like, I don't like to be huddled in a mass, like down Needle Park with a bunch of junkies and, you know, watching all that all day long. You know, it's sad.
So how many bags of fentanyl do you use a day?
Roughly 2 to 3. Like, you know, throughout the day. Like, it lasts me a long time. Like I said, to take the edge off, you know, if I feel all right.
How about crack? How many jars do you use a day?
Less than 5 to maybe 0. Like, I'm really trying to stop using that. You know, it's just extra money, you know.
So how does fentanyl make you feel?
Like normal. Takes my pains away. Like, I have stomach issues, so it settles my belly. My arthritis, you know, the pain goes away. It's not really a high for me. Like, it's always been that way. Like, people say like that orgasmic feeling all through your body. Like, I just know when I feel good. I'll get energetic, I'll have an appetite. You know, 'cause if I'm worried about, you know, getting a bag, I'm not hungry. Food, I just can't even bring myself to eat. Nothing looks appetizing.
Are you concerned with what you are putting in your body?
Yeah, and I do it anyway. Like, I'm knowledgeable about drugs, not because I'm an addict. Like, I always have been. When I was like 15, I worked in a pharmacy, and like, I think if my life would have went better, I probably could have pursued that path. Because the pharmacist that had owned these stores, he put some of the kids through college.
Tissue. You know, take like a couple tissues off of that.
He put kids through college, you know, to become a pharmacist, you know. Well, here he wound up getting arrested for doing whatever. I was kind of young, I don't really remember what it was. And I wasn't that good in science, so maybe I couldn't have worked out. But I always like read up, even getting a prescription for, you know, an antibiotic, or a doctor prescribes something, you know, to my children. I would look it up and, you know.
So how do you go about supporting your habit?
Well, either I borrow, or I had a friend she was kind of dealing, and like I would trade her things, like that she needed, clothes or shoes, things I came across in the course of a day, you know, I would trade. Or like today I got samples of meth, and I don't even do it, so hopefully today I can trade that for dope or a cigarette, or, you know.
So what's the worst thing that you have ever done to get money to buy drugs?
Well, shoplifting, and to me, like, you know, prostituting. Like, I don't jump in and out of cars, like, per se, like walking the streets. Like, if I, you know, meet somebody and we get to talking, you know, it's a little bit safer to me, even though I don't know them that well. I don't know, none of it's really safe. But probably shoplifting, that's what I got arrested for.
How many times have you been arrested?
Just twice. That was a couple years ago on Mother's Day. Got arrested for shoplifting, and that was just like a citation. But last July, I was also at the methadone clinic, and I recently had walked off, and I was like, that's it, I'm done, I'm not doing it no more. Of course, after group, I had $5, so I thought, all right, just one more. Well, that one more got me arrested and booked. Because I was never processed in the city, I spent the night in jail. And I just, you know, I don't know, it sounds ridiculous for my age, but I just didn't want to go that route.
So were you on drugs at the time when you was arrested?
Well,
were you using drugs?
I was on methadone, and I was stopping my fentanyl use because my dose was, you know.
So what did they give you?
And it was just like for sport. It was just, you know.
So what did they give you while you was in jail to help you with the craving?
Oh, nothing. It was just a night in jail. Okay. So I had already been dosed that day, and I left and got dosed in the morning.
Have you tried Suboxone?
Not prescribed by a doctor. I was doing it a few years ago, like as a get high. But no, I've only done methadone as a way to like handle my it's MAT, medicated assisted treatment, which I believe in it if it's used properly. A lot of people think that it doesn't work, but it's supposed to busy your brain, take care of the cravings enough for you to focus on your recovery.
What's the longest you can go without using fentanyl?
And not being on methadone. I haven't tried. I mean, the other morning I was kind of sick. It's not pleasant, I don't try to really go without.
What are some of the side effects that you get when you don't have your fentanyl?
Irritability, upset stomach, both ways, nauseous, aches and pains. I don't know. I have a tendency of sleeping a lot in the beginning, and that wears off whatever is in your system. So it's like a double-edged sword. I'd rather just curl up and sleep, but then that's not that good.
So why do you continue to use a drug like fentanyl that causes people to behave like a zombie? Where you can get raped as a woman and also you can get robbed. Why do you continue to use that drug?
Because it's got a hold of me right now. And I'm in the environment. I eventually want to get help. But I don't think of that when I'm well. I think of it when I'm not, when I'm not. Like the other morning, because I asked for detox, but they were like, well, you got to take the train down to 8th and Spruce. Then it's a process. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it when I'm sick. That's what I was saying to my girlfriend yesterday. She was like, you need to go to rehab, but don't do it for me. Don't do it for your kids. But when I'm feeling good, I'm not thinking that my life is a mess. You know what I mean? It busies my brain.
What's the longest have you been clean?
Well, back in '94 was the first time I went through rehab. My children had been taken away from by DHS.
Why?
And because I had an overdose of pills. I tried to commit suicide. And at the time, the oldest child that lived with me was 5. 5 and 3 and a 2-year-old and an 8-month-old I had. And I ate a bottle of pills. And then when the police came, they called DHS to come get the children. So when they went into care, I went to rehab, and I had, totally clean years was 6. I was mainly drinking back then. I didn't really do drugs at all, and my husband was in jail. If me and him did coke or whatever, it was always him. I didn't know how to go get, or I just drank a lot. But I had 10 years free of drinking. When I relapsed, it was on marijuana, and then I started messing with pills, and I think I started smoking crack. They say all your nevers come true.
How were you introduced to drugs?
The kids I hung around with. I started smoking weed when I was 12.
Did you graduate college or high school?
I didn't graduate high school, but I got my GED in 2000.
What are you doing currently to improve your situation so that way you could get off the streets?
Nothing. Not doing anything. I mean, the thought's there. I know I need to go to treatment because I can't. I'm just too old for this, and I just can't live. I can't live this way.
So where you see yourself a year from now?
Geez, that'll be my next birthday. I'll be 55. Clean, in recovery. Spending time with my grandchildren. Having my own place, mainly, because when I have my own place, I'm stable. I hold it down. I'm happier, more content. Having my own.
Are you currently homeless?
Yes.
How long you been homeless for?
What is it? 2 months.
How is life like in Kensington being homeless?
Hard. Like everything I had has been stolen every day. If I have a backpack, that gets stolen. You know, a tote bag with my clothes, that gets stolen. So I'm like down to like the bare minimum.
What's the worst thing that has happened to you since you've been out here?
I got beat up by a guy who, he was doing fentanyl and smoking crack all day, and he gets a little like crazy, and he accused me of stealing his drugs when I wasn't even near him. Like, it was an invented story just to draw attention. And like, other people didn't know me that well, so they thought that I did steal his drugs. So he kind of like was manhandling me and like attacked me, saying, you know, like, you know, I'm just afraid to be around people.
Do you go to the police or anything?
No.
Why didn't you?
Well, because I mean, down there around McPherson Square, Needle Park, the cops don't really care because they know, like, just crap happens on a regular basis, you know what I mean? And it's just, I guess, if that's where, you know, the life you're gonna live, I guess it's just the expectations, you know.
Due to the fact that you're homeless, how do you go about taking a shower, getting food, and clothes and things of that nature?
Well, there is a shelter. I've stayed in a few nights, and you know, they let you to get a shower in the morning. But the couple times I stayed there, me and the other girl, we had left because like sometimes the drug dealers give out samples. So we were trying to get a sample that morning. But you can get showered at the shelter, and they feed you breakfast. They feed you dinner when you sign up to go in, and like before, you know, they feed you. Like people, there's organizations and churches and things that come and deliver food to the homeless, like homeless outreach. But I don't eat a lot of it, because you know, I don't have an appetite.
Is that from using the fentanyl? It takes
yeah.
away your appetite?
Yeah. Well, no, like sometimes. But I have stomach issues, so I just can't eat just any random thing. You know, it'll upset my stomach.
So what do you do with the majority of the money that you make a day?
Drugs and cold drinks and cigarettes. Lucy's mainly.
Have you experienced any like sores, wounds, or any type of infection due to the drug use?
Oh.
Can you show me?
Yeah, I've had abscesses.
Can you show me? Can you show us, please?
Well, there's one scar from before, and this was recent. I was in a hospital for an abscess. This is from falling down, but like the abscesses have to be treated. I know so many people out here that have actually lost limbs due to being afraid to go in the hospital. Like, get it medically treated. Don't try to handle it yourself. And I don't know why, like, people are too scared to go to a hospital because they don't want somebody's calling them a junkie or treating them like a junkie. Like, if they're in that field, they're there to handle, you know, what's the word? They're to handle medical conditions, you know. Don't worry about being criticized or judged, you know.
Do you believe in God? What are your beliefs?
Yeah, I believe there's a God. Like, my stuff seems to be in hindsight. It seems like after something's happened, I see that something kept me safe.
Where do you think that you'll go when you die?
I don't know about that. It's like religious or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about that.
Okay, so tell me, what does happiness mean to you?
Being content and okay with myself, not being mad. You know, it's like I'm pretty much a happy person, considering like sitting here crying. But like through all the problems in my life, you still gotta like, whatever. That's just my story. Like everyone has a story to tell, and like just the simple things. I like coming to this park because it's quiet. You know, watching the squirrels be goofy. You know, there's like critters at night. There's cats that live in it. You know, just simple things make me happy.
What is your favorite color?
I have one purple, I guess.
And what are some of your favorite food?
Foods?
Yes.
Ice cream and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like I said, I have stomach issues, so it became like I was like living on ice cream. Like, I don't know, it's not unhealthy to eat, but I was just eating a steady diet of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and ice cream.
And what type of music do you like?
Anything really. It's a wide range. Because of my age, I never was prejudiced like against like hip hop or rap or rhythm and blues. You know, because I know like white people will be like, I'm not listening to that. You know, bleepity bleep, whatever. You know, because my son had me listening to it. Rock and roll, classic rock, jazz, smooth jazz.
Who is your favorite actor?
Actor. Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's a
Can you name one?
not one.
How about who's your favorite actress?
I don't know. I just can't pick one.
Okay, understood. If you had to pick a decade to live in, what decade would you pick?
I don't know. Maybe like the 80s.
Okay, when was the last time somebody told you that they love you?
Yesterday, my girlfriend told me that.
And do you feel any shame or guilt from using drugs?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you ready for recovery?
Somewhat. Somewhat. It's just the process of starting that is like holding me back, because it is a long process to get into like treatment. You know, it's like 8 to 10 hours. You know, for the insurance companies and all that. But I did it once, and it was just like a misunderstanding, and they sent me out. Like they told me I needed another facility, and I got mad, and I left. Yeah, like I went through treatment four times in rehab. So I know what I'm supposed to do, and I've been involved in AA and NA. I even worked in a rehab back in the 90s. And I have a lot of knowledge, and I have a lot of wisdom to share. Like when I was at the clinic, you know, I would try to share with younger people, or even people that were even 20 years younger than me, you know, about children, or the foster care system, or how like kids react and respond, because I've lived through it. My children are like adults now. But I would get like I wouldn't be taken serious because I was still using. I wasn't using fentanyl, but I was using crack. So they would just be like, oh, she's so full of stories. So it would kind of hurt me, you know? So I wanted to be clean just so I could help another. And I want that again.
Have you ever been tested for STDs?
Yes. What, and HIV and stuff?
STDs in general?
Yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's good. All right, so have you ever been attacked out here due to the fact that you are homeless?
No.
Where do you sleep?
Well, sometimes I don't. I'll just I'll just stay awake, or if I'm hanging with somebody, we'll just walk around or sit somewhere and party and talk. And if I do sleep in the playground of the park I'm in, or I met somebody last night, and he let me stay in his room, which was it was just nice to be safe in an air-conditioned room and in a bed. And he was like a trusting person. I know it was like real risky, but I could kind of feel him out. I felt him out, He was just a gentle person. He was very kind.
When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see?
I haven't looked in the mirror lately. That I've aged. This is aging me more. And it's so unnecessary. Like I'm breathing on myself. And I know what to do to stop it.
What message do you have for teens and young adults who are thinking about trying drugs?
It's not as simple as it may seem, or some get hooked and some don't. Don't think that it's cool, because it's not fun. It's not cool being a loser, or being ashamed, not getting very far in life, or not having anything, because any friends that you have right then when you start using, they're not going to be your friends. Bad things are going to happen. You're going to disappoint a lot of people. And I didn't think about that shit. I didn't think about what my actions were on other people. I just kind of rolled by myself and thought I was cool with hanging with the cool kids. When I had I had friends that were cheerleaders. I had friends that were into art. I had all ranges of friends. I don't know why I went the wrong way, but I did.
Okay.
Well, I guess because the abuse in my home. I guess if I would pursued counseling or dealt with that issue in my life,
If you had 3 wishes in this world, what would your 3 wishes be?
To have my own place to live. To have my own place to live so my grandchildren could come see me and spend time with me. Just to be secure and happy. To be stable and happy. I'm a simple person. I just complicate everything and make things so harder on myself.
To my audience that's watching this video, what help do you want them to provide you with?
I'm not really asking for help or anything. It seemed like another friend asked me that because she has a home to go to. And she asked me, oh, you want me to bring you something? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, what, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I said, no, I don't need food. We get fed. I need clothes. Because my stuff just keeps getting stolen. I said, even if the man would have let me get a shower where he lived, I didn't even have a clean pair of underwear to put on.
So what size clothes do you wear so the audience can get a care package for you?
Like a large to extra large, and stretch pants or something. Because I have a hernia, so I need my pants to get over it.
If you had a message to send to the world, what message would you like to send?
Addiction does not discriminate. Rich, poor, old, young, black, white. You just never know. And don't shut somebody out or criticize. Try to reach out and help. And sometimes you can't help, but just be there for when they're ready for help. Sometimes it just has to go its own course. And sometimes there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Some gotta die. That's so sad, but that's just somebody's story, I've been saying, I was in a program, AA and NA, and some die, That's some people's story, that they die from an overdose or, they die of an illness due to drinking.
So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go? To let you go. So why is it so hard to let you go?